I think when people can show up to work as their authentic selves, it's a better bottom line, they feel better, they're more productive, there's less time out at work, less mental health issues, so forth. So businesses benefit, people benefit, everyone benefits. I think we will. I don't think it's in my generation, I think it's in the next generation. But I'm certainly seeing that, you know, the younger population just don't see an issue with marriage equality, they don't see an issue with who you go out with. It's much more of an interesting, you know, tea room conversation for older people, it seems. But that's, you know, that's being ageist as well. There's many older people in the workforce that are completely, absolutely cool with this. But, you know, younger people are pushing the boundaries and very comfortable in that kind of diverse space, I think. So I think we will get to see a day. At the moment, being gay and lesbian is pretty old news. The new, you know, the trendy thing is, you know, trans and other things. So, you know, and I think trans people are kind of where we were, gay and lesbians and bisexual people, you know, maybe 30 years ago. So it's the new frontier and gender diverse, you know. So language is changing, people are changing. You know, we're seeing a lot more transgender people and people who are gender diverse in the workforce because they're more comfortable, you know, and as society allows them to be more comfortable, we'll see more people identifying that way. I think it's got to be an all-play, all-team event here. I think we need to see leadership from our politicians, absolutely, as we do in Victoria. It's a very bipartisan support. In Victoria, we're very lucky to be the equality state. But business is a part of community. The leadership from the CEO, for example, is really important, and that shines a shadow on the organisation. That, you know, discrimination in this organisation of any type is unacceptable. And families are very, very important as well. So I think all the platforms, but ultimately individuals, because at the end of the day, you can only change yourself. I think, you know, we put it a lot onto LGBTI people to tell their own stories so it educates everybody else. I think there's a lot of information, good information, credible information out there that you can actually go and educate yourself. So you don't have to keep traumatising someone by having to tell their story 100 times for someone's benefit. Me, I get paid to tell my story, so here I am. It's my job, it's my full-time job, and I absolutely love it. But, you know, for a lot of trans and gender diverse people, you know, they wish, you know, every time they go to the doctor, they have to, like, they might be going to the doctor for a cold, and they end up talking about their transgender issues because that's more interesting to the doctor. I mean, that's a, you know, very common kind of experience that, you know, we shouldn't have to do. So people can educate themselves. Me sitting on a beach down in Lawn, job done, and I think we're a little way from that. But it's certainly where everyone in Victoria feels included, in the workforce, in every sporting club across Victoria, every school, you know, every community organisation. That's ultimate discrimination-free Victoria, and we're heading in that direction. It's interesting because we're in all of those intersections. So we have LGBTI Aboriginal people, LGBTI people with disabilities, LGBTI multicultural people, LGBTI fundamental Christians. I mean, there's just such a broad range of people that can get multiple levels of discrimination within our community. So often when you're of a certain race, your whole family is of that certain race. It's something you share and experience with your family. As an LGBTI person, you're often the only person in your family, or can be often the only person in your family that experiences that sort of discrimination. So it can be multiplying effects on that. But you know, we think we've come a long way, but we're still overrepresented in mental health issues and suicide and drug and alcohol issues, not because of who we are, it's because of the discrimination that we experience. And so, you know, we've got a long way to go. There are some very fortunate, you know, particularly lesbian and gay and maybe bisexual members of our society, and people go, well, look at all those people. What's your issue? Why are you being discriminated against? But it's only a subsection of our community. There's still many people in our community that are really marginalised. I think it should go the way of the dodo, but it's really hard, and I don't think we should be, you know, coming down heavy on people because it's such an ingrained thing. You know, when I started this job, I had to lose the language, guys. I'm learning new language all the time. So, you know, and who's going to notice? Only people who care. No one else is going to notice whether you say, hey guys, or hey everybody, or come on gang, like, you know, the only people who notice are the people who care. So it's a little thing that we can do and train ourselves and not beat ourselves up if we get it wrong. And I get it wrong. I mean, I've misgendered somebody as the Commissioner for Sexual and Gender Equality. You know, someone said, how long do you think it'll take you to muck up something? It took me about 2 weeks. So, you know, you just need to keep trying. And I think we live in a world where, particularly in the workforce, we're all so politically correct that we don't do anything. We'd rather not do it and not get it wrong than you know, muck it up and offend someone. I think, you know, you need to try this stuff. But I was at Government House yesterday and I was talking to the Governor's husband about gender, and, you know, the aide said, you know, ladies and gentlemen, please follow the Governor into lunch. And I said to the Governor, you know, when we have our LGBTI function here, can the attendant just say, good evening everybody, please can you follow the Governor? And I said, no one will notice except the trans and intersex and gender diverse people, and they will really notice and they will really care and they will know that they've been included. So that's really important. You know, it's really about creating a space for community groups, but also a pride centre, which, you know, to have pride, where we can display our archives, the history, what we've managed to achieve already. And I think it's important that we certainly tell the younger generation and our LGBTI younger generation about what we struggled through the HIV/AIDS epidemic, through, you know, not that long ago it was illegal to be homosexual in Victoria. People were put in jail, and you talk about that and people go, oh, that was, you know, lifetimes ago. I'm like, no, that was in your lifetime. That happened, you know. And you know, a lesbian couple was, you know, fined for gross indecency for holding hands on a tram, you know, 1960. These things are not that distant, you know, in our past, and I think it's important to remember that as we strive for equality, we strive for fairness in Victoria. Remember how far we've come. We know we've got a way to go, but we've come a long way.